Hi everybody, it's Corey at The Reset Girl, and I am so happy you're here. I am doing my very first late night crafty club in 2017, and we are doing a very special episode tonight because we are going to talk about 10 ways to be besties with your word of the year. So I came up with 10 different ideas of things that you can do to really make your word for the year resonate, to really embrace it, to have a relationship with it. Sometimes when you pick a word and you really let it get in to your decision making and to your little spirit, you will actually begin to really embrace what that word means, and it's really amazing how much impact it can have on you. And it's not just a small amount of people that believe this or live this, live that philosophy. There are literally millions of people who have embraced the idea of just choosing a word is sort of like their guidepost for the year. There are different communities out there, and I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of them, or actually a few of them. And at the end of the video, I will direct you to where you can go grab a little group of resources I put together for you. So you will be able to download a printable that will have all of buying resources where I've gotten some of my supplies, some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you tonight, and some of the communities that support having a word for the year, so that maybe you will want to join in and that will help you incorporate a word into your life. So I came up with these 10 ideas because I personally have found that having a word has really been life-changing. The first year that I tried this was in 2015, and I don't remember exactly how I came to learn about the trend of choosing a word, but I picked I picked the word focus. And I have to tell you that every person I've seen that says I picked focus as my word has said that it is just not a word that they've been successful with. I certainly wasn't. I think 2015 I had a lot of change going on. That was a year I moved from a little 2-bedroom apartment into a big 4-bedroom house rental to incorporate our business, and it grew very quickly, and I had a lot of chaos going on, and I was running around in different directions in my head trying to do way too many things, but thinking it was all such a great idea. So I failed miserably. I picked focus because I thought it would help me kind of narrow and focus in, and it really didn't. And then it felt like I was failing every month. So it wasn't a good word for me. 2016 was intentional, and that was an amazing word. I have to say, I'm hoping that the word I picked for this year is that successful, because intentional, it worked for me so well. And all the mistakes I made in 2015, I was able to undo them all. Start minimizing my business, minimizing the different directions I'm going to, want to go. Being very intentional with my time and thinking about how do you live in a way in which you have contentment, peace, all of those things that that are important, especially to introverts. Introverts, I think, have a whole level of needs in order to feel satisfied, because for me personally, money is not a motivator. I've never felt motivated by money, not even when I worked in all the different companies I worked for. My paycheck wasn't the thing. It was really feedback from my boss, you're doing a great job, or employees going, you bring such great company morale. Hearing that is what it felt more like my paycheck. So there are things that I kind of had to really think about and incorporate and embrace, and one of which, thinking from an intentional mindset, was you have too much stuff. You can't create or work well because you have too many things that you're always feeling that make you feel overwhelmed. So just physically feel overwhelmed. So that was why I started looking into minimalism and kind of baby stepping. I decided I wasn't going to just jump in the pool. I was going to dip my foot in that pool first And that's been a good thing. So I've really intentionally spent time doing more and more research. All 2016, I was making those changes and just really thinking through, slowing my little self down and thinking through what I was doing. And that all comes with being intentional. What do you want your life to look like? So looking back at that and seeing that it was really a process and really holding on to that word and trying to live its definition, I really wanted to kind of help others who struggled like I did in my first year, where sometimes we just kind of go with the trend. Oh, everyone's picking a word, I'll pick a word. Sometimes we just don't really know what we're doing, so we just kind of pick one and not really think it through or even really know what to do with it once we've done it. I don't want to treat this like a little craft project. I really want it to treat this like a true life-changing decision that you make. If this is the first time you're ever picking a word, and I want this to be meaningful for you, and I want you to have success. And look, no one's expecting perfection. I certainly won't be perfect with my words. So I picked strengthen for this year, and I fully expect that I'm going to have problems with that at times because I feel very weak at times. I feel very depleted or overwhelmed. So how in the world am I supposed to strengthen other people and how I view that word when I feel the way that I do, where I might feel depressed or I might be going through something? So this will be challenging. Every word has a challenge, and sometimes those words pick you. They kind of pop up. You kind of see them all of a sudden when it's like that thing when you decide you want a certain car and all of a sudden that's the only car you can see on the freeway. It's like now it has your attention because you're paying attention. And sometimes that's what a word feels like. It feels like it just makes itself known. And so if you are not sure, like maybe you said, hey, I'm going to pick this word, but you're not feeling it, you're not sure about it, and something else pops along, don't feel like, well, I'm married to my first word, so I can't change. Sometimes you might make a decision in a spur of the moment thing, or you didn't think it through. So again, feel like you have freedom here to make that change or adjustment if you need to. And we're not even 2 weeks into the new year. So you have the whole year ahead of you. Doesn't that feel awesome? The whole year ahead of us, and you can tweak as you go. So I just wanted to kind of share that insight with you because I found this to be really impactful for my life, and I would love for it to be impactful for yours. And I just wanted you to feel like you had some freedom here. There's no rules. Like nobody made up this rule book about this is how the word of the year works. So I just wanted to kind of give you some guidance, I guess. And all of the things I'm sharing, these are things that I am personally doing or have done. But if it doesn't resonate for you or doesn't make sense to you, please don't feel like you have to do it. It's not being part of a club or anything like that. These are just simply ideas. And I get excited by stuff like this. I love anything that has to do with personal development. And that's because I've been that way my whole life. I am always looking to be a better Corey. So some of these things I've done just kind of make me feel like I'm walking in that direction. So I made myself a list so I could stay on track for a change and not be all over the place. And I also have my beverage, which is super crazy. I'm having raspberry lemonade tonight. I need to go out and get myself something that's more adulty, I think. So it's very warm in here too. Okay, so I'm kind of moving stuff around here on my desk, and I'm trying not to show you all the little goodies I got going on over here. Okay, but I do want to stay on track because I think I've been doing a good job keeping the show under around the 2-hour mark, and I feel like that's kind of a good one. So hopefully I'm going to get through it all. It's always hard to tell, how long I'm going to take to talk about things because I don't even know myself. I just give myself a very very simple, thin little outline and just kind of go with it. So one of the first things, number one, is make a notebook for your word. And I decided what I wanted to do was I wanted to make a cover. I got really excited because I figured out that I have a bunch of planners, coil-bound planners, and some of them I didn't even use. So I kept thinking about how all they have these luscious really nice little coils on them. They've got great covers, but they just, you know, like nice and thick. So I thought, you know, I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to make a new cover, put different paper inside. I'm just going to take it apart. So I got really excited by that, and I went ahead and I made myself my own little vintage magazine cover. So what I wanted to do was kind of carry that into a couple more notebooks that I wanted to do this year. I made another one. Here's my Reset Life. So I have a new blog. I gave it a little update. It's The Reset Life. It still has TheResetGirl.com, but it's called The Reset Life. So I made a magazine cover to go over a notebook. And then I got really excited by that. And then I decided, well, I want to make, I want to have one that's for my word of the year. So I sketched them all out. I wrote all the copy and I handed it over to my friend Kelly, who put it all together into this beautiful little cover. And now I have them. These have been printed on sticker stock. So I wanted to show you what I was going to do with that. And exciting news, Mr. Crafty and I are going to do a printable store. So we're going to put the letter size planner printables in it. We're going to eventually, at some point, put the A5 planner printables in it. But we are going to do a line of these girls because there's a lot of, well, we're notebook lovers, right? So I thought, well, that'll be really fun for, you know, girls who like that vintage look to have a cool little magazine cover notebook. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a printable store for that. So that would be exciting. So I have my Strengthen magazine, and I thought it'd be really fun to put like little, like, you know, 2017, your word of the year, strengthen those that need 100 ideas to encourage others. So I was just being kind of funny, making like a little magazine all about strengthen. And I happened to have, I went through all my notebooks trying to find one that I liked, and I picked this one because I liked the size. It feels very portable, and it's not super big. This is a Bando. It's one of their rough draft notebooks. It's 160 pages, and I got this, I believe I bought this from Paper Source. So the Bando notebooks are really nice. They're made by, I think they're made by Lifehouse Press, and that's the same company that also does Kate Spade's notebooks. So there's some similar features, including the gold coil. This one I really liked because it's dated. It has the rounded corners. The paper is really nice. It feels more luxurious than just lined paper. And one of the features that I decided to pick this one is it has perforated pages. So you could tear the page here. And what I love about this is if you tore it, I could still punch it with my discbound planner punch or my planner, my regular A5 planner punch, and put this into a planner or into my discbound. So I would still have versatility, because I thought to myself, I'm doing the One Little Word class with Allie Edwards, which we'll talk about soon. And in that class, you do a little bit more pocket scrapbooking style memory keeping. And so I thought, well, what if I want to put pages in that? And what if I want to like kind of blend the two together? So this to me is versatile because I still have room when I tear the page that I'll be able to punch it and put it into a binder or into my planner if I want to. But I thought, well, I'll just try it. It can't hurt to try. And if I don't love it, then I'll just go ahead and keep a few of the pages and just reprint the material and just start over in the book. But I wanted to brand it, because that's fun. Okay, so I did get really brave last time and figured out what I needed to do. So this is essentially it's not super hard, but it does feel weird tearing apart something like this. And so I kind of did different things the last time, and I'm not sure. I want to try and make sure that I can use this coil, and so I hope this works. And if I have failure, then we'll see if this makes it into the video. If you're watching this now, I was successful. Okay, so I'm kind of like, and I did this with my One Canoe 2 planner. I literally pulled it apart like this, and it felt so weird. I'm not trying to pull it apart too much. I just want to pull the little coils apart enough to get the covers out. That's all I'm trying to do. And I happen to have a cinch that is it's actually like a punch for coiling books, like making coiled books. It punches and helps you hold the coils so that you can make your own coil-bound books. Another company who makes them is Zutter, and I think they have a name for theirs, and I am forgetting what it's called, but it's Zutter, and I will, again, that will be in the resource material, because if you want to learn how to make your own books, which I have always wanted to figure out how to make, like take book covers, existing books, and kind of tear the pages out. I know, that sounds terrible. Okay, I did it. Whew, I think. There we go. Okay, I got one off, and I got two off. So I have always wanted to learn to make the books, and American Crafts was very nice. My sales rep gave me a cinch, an old one that she had in her office. So I was like, I'll take it. I'll give it a good home. So I got I got the covers off. So what I was going to do was basically cover this with my little magazine cover here. And I was just trying to figure out, like, what is the best way to do this? And I've tried all different kinds of ways in the past to get stickers to line up onto things. I feel like I'm pretty brave that I decided. Last time I just used regular paper, printed out my girl on regular paper. This time I thought I'm going to do adhesive, because then I don't have to worry about it, the glue, you know, coming apart in any way. So I figure if I could just line up the edge of this. Okay, so I just, as you can see here, is I just lined up the edge of the sticker with the edge of the book. And you can see how the little rounded corners of the book will need to be trimmed. And then I'm just kind of pulling this. Oh, you know what? I should probably pull this little decal off, because otherwise you'll probably be able to see it under the cover. This is classic Corey. I truly do not pay attention to stuff like this. And it will bite me later that I didn't take it off. And of course it doesn't want to come off easily either, now that I realize I have to take it off. Okay, there we go. Now it's cooperating. Okay, so one thing that is happening is it's not lined up as well as I would like it to. But lucky for me, the sticker paper is coming off pretty okay, given that the notebook has a little bit of a, what do you call that? It's kind of shiny, so it doesn't necessarily, here. Ah. Let me see if I can line it up better that way. I think what I want to do is try and line it up differently this time. Mr. Crafty showed me how to do this, and I thought that I paid attention. It's a little harder to get it on this time because I lost that nice, super clean edge, but that's okay. As always, I leave all the mistakes that I make in my videos. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you just you don't nail it perfectly the first time. Okay, now we're back in business. I promise this video will pick up steam. So you, one thing you could do is use like a ruler and kind of slide it across. That way you're keeping it flat and let no little air bubbles in. That's one way. It's working, so I'm going to say it's a good way. Slide it across. So if you think about it, sometimes notebooks, you can give them a new life because you, let me see here. It's funny, this is on here. Okay. It's not perfect, but I'm okay with that because these little holes, it's going to be, it's going to get, it's going to have the little coil binding here. So I will be okay with that. So what I'm going to do is, I know, this is super imperfect here. I'm just kind of shoving my scissors in the little places where the holes were because I figure once the little coils get back in there, they will just kind of push those little seams down. And I'm not looking for this to be a perfect thing. I knew going in that I was probably going to have some imperfections. And I am okay with that because I let perfectionism keep me from doing things in the first place, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I would rather have imperfection than not do something at all. So, and the best part is that I can always flip. You can always flip your magazine, like your little book cover. You can always flip something over and try it again if you don't like it, or pull it off, you know. Or you can use glue stick instead of, or Mod Podge, and then like Mod Podge it over. Put gel matte medium over it. Okay, and then with the rounded corners, I'm just gonna do this, is just round them out. And once the little coils are over the edge, I'm sure I will not even notice it, so I'm not worried about it. And I'm gonna get the other one on. Here's my little paper source, UPC sticker. Pulling that off. I honestly don't think it's as big of a deal as I first thought. It's so thin. Okay. So this time, yeah, I'm going to definitely start it on this side too. I came up with this magazine cover idea. I was sketching them out, and I showed my friend Kelly what she thought, and I was like, you know what, I just want you to make me an awesome cover for my book. I just want to see what it looks like. And I fell in love with, I picked out the honey, I picked out the colors, and then she got it all on there just like a magazine cover, and it was just so beautiful. I fell in love. And I was so excited. It was like a project that I had wanted to make for so long. Like, I have a dream to make my own line of a special notebook line. Is notebook the right word? I should probably not call it a notebook. It's more like a crafty book. I was telling my parents about it at Christmas time. This project that I've had, and I have it designed. I just need to have it produced. But my dad thought it was so awesome. He offered to help fund it. And wow, I've never had my dad offer that before, so I was pretty excited that he believed in my vision so much. So hopefully that's something I get to do one day. I love making stuff for people. I really do. I'm a gift giver by nature, and so to me it's so much fun to design things, and I've never gotten to do that before. I've always worked in marketing, some kind of capacity of marketing. So I'm like a marketing branding nerd. It's like I love it. But getting to actually design stuff is super fun. And in my last job, I was in charge of the process of product development. So that has helped me a lot in my business now. So it was very much meant to be that I had that job. This is fun. Now, I know these little coils are going to be like really probably not happy about their new arrangement, but so it works really well to kind of like make an X in the little hole. Most of these notebooks have square holes, I noticed. When you use this 00 wire, it has a square hole. If you use the coil, like Erin Condren, they use the round. I'm sure the round one has got oh man, could you imagine trying to take the, actually a lot of you have tried uncoiled your Erin Condren planners. Like you have to spiral that little thing out of the planner. At least with these, like you can just kind of pry them open a little bit. I did that with my one canoe too, and I don't have any real issues when I put it back together and kind of squeezed it back. I'm going to try and squeeze them back together with my fingers, and if that doesn't work, I'm just going to go grab my little my cinch. Okay, so now I got my little covers like that. So the trick is you have to get this on again in the right way. So it's like you're putting it on in a backwards way. So I'm going to get the cover on first. There we go. Strengthen. Okay. I got it on there. Okay. I feel victorious. Okay, so what would I be doing in this notebook now that I've made it? So some of the things that I was thinking about doing in my notebook had a lot to do with like doing any kind of journaling, note-taking. So I have like different things I want to do this year, including read a couple books that have to do with strength. And so that would be a great place to do it in here. I thought I'm going to try doing like some memory keeping. I also, I had mentioned that I had signed up to do the one little word class, and there was some course materials in this. One of them was like, I'll just show you this. So part of the class materials was like these little pages that you could print out and then write your responses on. So I was like, oh, see, they would fit in there. And so I made you guys a printable for your notebook or your planner. It's A5 sized. But I noticed that when you open it up, it's going to be a PDF, but when you open it up, it'll actually expand to letter size if you wanted it to. And if you just wanted it to go back to its A5, you would just, there's like a setting that you click that's like fit to its true size, I think, something along those lines. And it will shrink right back down to the A5. That's what happened to me. So I set this up for you guys so that you could have your word for the year. You write your word up here, what its definition is. I know, do some homework. So I actually looked up the word strengthen and created a little printout, and I blew it up really big so that it was like large, and it has all of these words associated with it so that I could look up additional, resources or think about all these other action words that involve with strengthen, which is a verb. So it's an action related word. So the definition of it, how it applies to my life. So how does this word apply to my life? And things I will do to support it. So one of the things that we're doing right now watching this is I'm giving you 10 ideas of what you can do. So you can either write some of those ideas down here, that these are some of the things I'm going to do to support it, or you can think of other things, or I'm going to show you how to research so that you can come up with other things that you're going to do to actively support your word. You're going to develop a relationship together. So these are things you can do to support it. And so you can put this in your planner, like I just mentioned, or like in this case, I could just kind of glue stick it down into my book. And I like the pages. I have some journal cards here, so I can still fit like 2 journal cards side by side, or maybe just 1 journal card, and then like do my the type of journaling that I love to do with my stickers and my washi. So I thought I'm going to have a whole book that's all about this. And if I change my mind and decide I want to move this into a planner, I still have the option of doing that. But this would be great. So if you, in my case, like I could put the word of the year inside here. I have a little pocket in this one. So you look, I'm not asking you to buy anything new. I'm sure you have notebooks in your stash. But look and see what you have. See if you can repurpose something and be about like making this the star of the show. Like this is my word of the year book, and it's literally a yearbook for you and your word to develop a relationship. You can journal about it. How did that word, pop up for you today? How did you take that word and do something with it? But filling it up with the pages of like, at least at the bottom minimum, you want to find out like, what does that word mean? What is really the meaning of the word? And then how does it apply to you and how you're going to use it? So my little printable, which is free to you, it's going to be available on TheResetGirl.com. You can go and grab it and use it to start kicking off your relationship. And then as we talk about other stuff, you can remember that you have this notebook started and you can start adding to it, journaling in it, and that kind of thing about your words. So as I share other ideas, think about how you might incorporate some of those things into this notebook. So now we have an established little home for our word of the year. I have this definition that I'm going to probably cut out and put inside of my page, and then maybe I will think of other words. Perhaps I like doing word studies. That's kind of a nerdy thing, but sometimes our language is impactful, and sometimes words have meaning we don't even realize because our language has evolved, or in some ways we've dumbed down our language so much that we don't even realize what something means. And to me, strengthen it's not a word you hear every day, and it really does come from the Bible. To me, it comes specifically from a scripture about strengthening your brethren. And so I know that this word has got like kind of like old roots to it. So that makes me even more like I want to investigate. So that is a little book for you to add some of the following things we're going to talk about. And then you will be able to keep embellishing and adding to this as we go along. And so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was journal cards. So again, this is another item you have in your stash, I'm sure of it. So here is something you can do with journal cards. And I was thinking about all the different ways that you can do stuff. I have this really cool little folder that I got from Amazon, and I will link it below in the notes. When you guys finish watching this video and we upload the regular version of it, you will then be able to see all my notes. You'll be able to see resources and other videos I might mention. This will be listed on the resource guide, but I just got this and I absolutely love it. It's a plastic file folder, and you can label it. It came in different colors, but I just thought it was so cute, the color combination. I needed something like this because I wanted something portable to put all of my like little projects. Like here's some of the photos that I have from my craft for my craft project book. I have some honeys in here that I wanted to make sure kept safe. I have the new Adored collection in here. So I wanted this little portable little thing to keep with. And I wanted to share it with you because this is a really good system for keeping all your little stuff that you print out, including stuff like this. So I will make sure that that is linked below. So check for that. And then, so what I did, I wanted to use some of my existing journal cards. So I just randomly grabbed some from my little portable little tote carrier thing that usually sits up here on my desk. And I made myself some homemade stickers. So this is old school. I did not actually, you know what? I didn't print this on sticker paper like I thought. So now I'm going to have to use a glue stick, but that's okay because that's what I normally do anyway. But this is what you can do with your word is make stickers. So, or in this case, you can just print it out on regular paper and use a glue stick. So I use my favorite typewriter font, and I just made a bunch of my words just repeatedly because I love word strip stickers so much. And now I just planned on making my own word strip stickers. Another thing I did is I went and got 3 of my favorite kind of scripty fonts, and I printed some rows of these out, and then I will just go ahead and you could choose to do this like as needed, like I'm going to do this as I need them, or you can just cut them all out at once. If you kind of want to work as you go, having a little file folder like this is great because you can dedicate a whole section of this to your one word for the year project. If you're doing one little word or any of your classes, you could keep all the materials in there. So this is super simple because word strip stickers, especially to me, I like them imperfect. They remind me of like little Chinese fortunes. So I'm just kind of cutting them in strips like this. And if you do not have a pair of these gold scissors, girl, you need to have a pair of these scissors. I will link these below as well. These are the most magical scissors ever. I have preached about their goodness at every workshop that I have taught at. And look at that. Let me see. Some of them are going to fall, some are not. So now I have all these delicious little word strips. So one fun thing to do with little stickers like this is you could just put them like that on a journal card. It's super simple. There's a lot of cards out there that have all kinds of cool patterns and such, and then you could actually write something. So you could write a quote on this about your word, like use it in a quote, and you could pop this in your planner and just have this. You could put this up at work in your cubicle or on the mirror, but it's one of your strengthen cards. So you can make yourself a little set of strengthen cards. One of your word of the year cards. It's not all about me, sorry. It's about you. You got your word and I have mine. And oh, if you want to use mine, you are more than welcome to it. So anyway, see how fun this is? So you can make homemade stickers because if you do not what I did and you print this on a full-size sheet of sticker paper, which you can buy, Avery makes full sheet size labels, which you can get in any office supply store. You could probably even get them at Walmart, a package of them. You can make your own little stickers just like that. This is what I used to do. This is very old school. This is what I used to do before the silhouette came into my life. Okay, so then you have the more curvy letters, which I personally love cutting curvy because you get both hands involved. You kind of turn the paper as you cut. And just for the record, this is so soothing. I know a lot of you are sitting there going, Cutting paper is very soothing. If you have anxiety or depression, sometimes like doing something just so monotonous and just like, you can feel and you can hear the paper and you can feel your little hand moving. It feels like it's so peaceful to me. It's one of my favorite things to do craft-wise. So I have a scripty kind of version of these here for you to show what you can do. And I don't have any more journal cards around me because, let me see. Let me see if I can grab some. Because you can make your own journal cards very easily, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, so here's some more. Ooh, this one's pretty. I like that one a lot. I'm a sucker for the typewriter. I just love it. But look how that one like totally fits in there, like it was meant to be. Isn't that awesome? So you could just pick a really great pattern and give it its own little embellishment, you know. You could put your word up at the top where the journaling happens, and you can put, sorry, make room. I can't tell what, I never know what is going to end up in the close-up and what's not. But as you can see, so, and then you have some cards where the pattern turns sideways, and you have the big 4x6 cards, and then you can make your own shapes too. You don't have to stick with the size that journal cards are. If you just want to cut up some paper and make your own fun little embellishments. So that's one fun thing to do with journal cards. And then what you can do with them is you can hinge them with some washi. It's kind of funny how I'm in the Late Night Crafty Club and I don't even feel like I know where all my craft supplies are. I don't want to get kicked out. Let me see here. I'm grabbing that off the wall. Okay, so as an example of how I might use this in, you know, if you've seen any of my faith journaling videos, I have shown how I incorporate like journal cards and kind of embellish all my pages. But this is probably what I would do is I love making like a tip-in. And then, so it's a pretty kind of decoration on the paper, but if you flipped it open, you could put a secret, super secret message to yourself inside here, which I love doing. It just makes it more fun. So that's one thing you could do. Another thing is you could use these, you could put them up on the refrigerator, up on the window, in your car, clip it into your cubicle, and just make little notes to yourself. What does this word mean to you? Again, use quotes if you have to, but make little notes like, Joanne, look at this word today, you know, like give yourself direction, remind yourself, like when you get off track, remember, focus, you know, if that's your word, write a little note to your future self and put a whole bunch of these together. This is a fun little afternoon project of doing this, and your kids could help you with this. This is just fun. They don't have to be perfect. This is just fun stuff that you're doing for yourself. So if you do happen to have a silhouette in your life, it is very easy to get cut lines around them, my husband tells me. And you could make legit stickers on legit sticker paper like I should have done. But, oh, look at that. Isn't that dreamy? So I have like a whole sheet of them. So I have like this wonderful sheet of goodness to kind of to decorate with, which is awesome. I could put it here, strengthen, but I won't. I'll put it here. So it's on my little pocket. You could put stickers everywhere. Yeah, you could sticker things up. You could put it everywhere so that you have it in your head, remembering, you know, what you're doing. So that's a great idea too. And then when it comes to these little guys, you know, you could keep a little. We have the little baby ephemera keepers. You could stick a whole little pocket of these together. Okay, so the little baby ephemera keepers, which we sell in the store, this is a perfect job for them. Have one that's all your word. Just put one of these together. And so it's a series of like little, really super sturdy, clear bags. And after you've cut up your little strips or stickers, you know, the little words that you've made, you could put them inside of this little bag and add more to them. Like once I cut out more of these, I will be able to add more. So I have the like scripty strength in here. And I could put those in here. So you could make a whole little ephemera keeper all dedicated to your word. And I'll show you the other little fun things. This is super simple. If you have a computer, you could whip this up in Word. And if you don't have a computer, libraries have free computers, and printing out one sheet of your word would be really simple. It won't take long. And so then you could have different types of fonts. And again, if you have a silhouette, you could go ahead and create yourself a whole page of this and add the cut lines to it and have your machine do all the work. So there are these. Making yourself some stickers to do artwork with and embellish your journal cards. And speaking of the journal cards, I have more journal card goodness here. So I went and I kind of made my own journal cards. I am not a super high, like I've said this before, I am not super high tech with computer programs. I used Microsoft Publisher to do this. I literally I made 6 3x4 shapes. And I put them, lined them up on the page, and then I just filled each shape with some pattern or color. And I'm cutting them out by hand because I love cutting. But you could certainly use a rotary cutter. So I designed each one of these, which was a lot of fun. So think about how cool it would be to have an actual journal card dedicated to your word. So my word, like I had mentioned, comes from a scripture. And so that's what it is, strengthen your brethren. So I use 2 different types of fonts. And it looks like a really weird color. I wonder if it looks like a weird color to you. But it's light blue. So I have strengthen your brethren is one of them. And then this card is a pink on pink. It's like a tone on tone. So I can embellish that with something fun. And one of the things I am having turned into a printable for you is a set of journal cards that will help you get inspired to make some yourself, and you will be able to print them out and put them in your little book that we're making. Okay, this one I thought I was so clever because I was trying to make it look like a Pantone color chip. So in the design world, people would know what this is, but I thought I would be funny. So instead of the name, like instead of this saying Pantone, it says strengthen, and instead of the color, it says Luke 22:31, which is the scripture that this comes from. So here's another little journal card. So I made myself 6. It didn't take very long, maybe 20 minutes. Mr. Crafty made this pattern. He took my word and he just repeated it over and over and over again, and he turned it into like a photo so that I could use it and put it onto all kinds of things as a pattern. So in this case, I left one with a big white circle in it so I could write something there that I thought would be fun. And then this one, I just stacked a bunch of letters together because I've seen this done before and I like it so much that I thought, you know what, I'm going to try my hand at that. So I will, every month I could come up with a new set of journal cards for myself and use that in my crafting, in my listing, in my notebook, you know. So this is another thing is I'm incorporating my word into my play, you know, I'm taking it with me and just kind of just really reminding myself all the time that it has meaning. So here's a little play on my word where I broke the letters up and stacked them because I love that look. I've seen that before. And so I thought I would do something fun to show you how you could make it fancy if you wanted to. If you happen to have a laminator, and I know a lot of planner girls do, a laminator can be awesome. I don't use mine a whole lot because I never laminate much of anything, but one thing I do like is the foiling. So one of my cards I left just plain black. I used a laser printer, and that is the key. You have to use a laser. If you don't have a laser, you have an inkjet. No worries. All you need to do is save your file on a thumb drive and take it to Kinko's, take it like to FedEx Kinko's, to take it to any kind of office supply that does printing, and they all have laser printers, so they can do this for you. And that's all you need, is just a finished product that was filmed, that was printed using that. And then, okay, so I have not done this in a cajillion years, so I'm just taking a little piece of one of my little planner pages, and I'm got my little card face up, and I have some gold foil, which I bought. I've had all this stuff before the Mink came out, so I did not feel the need to buy the Mink because I had a regular laminator, which does the job awesomely. And I bought my foil from an Etsy seller, and I went back to try to find them, and I could not find it no matter how hard I tried, and I feel so bad because it's a person in our planner community. So the foil is sitting face up, and I'm just sticking it through my laminator. And letting it run through. This laminator has probably been on for, I don't know, 2 hours, so it's pretty hot. All for this little part of the video. So it's coming through here. This is really the reason why I kept the laminator, because I've almost ditched it now a couple times because I'm like, I don't really laminate anything, but so look, isn't that beautiful? Can you imagine like your word all gold foiled like that? So consider that's an opportunity for your word to really like shine, literally. And if your word is shine, can you imagine how beautiful that would be? So there's a gold foiled journal card, as well as some others that I made just for myself. And this was just me playing around, you know, just looking at different colors. If you want to look on Pinterest for inspiration on some journal cards out there to give you ideas of like how you would make, you know, how you would design it, Microsoft Publisher is your friend. It is very user-friendly. It is very easy to do stuff like this. So this is the second way in which you could do something fun, is to incorporate journal cards using existing cards, making your own cards, and making stickers as embellishments for everything. And then another thing you can do is find quotes with your word. So this is our number 3. So find quotes. So I went on my friend Pinterest and I found some quotes that I really liked. I happened to see this one, which had an orange background. So I happen to have this guy, and he's waiting for an embellishment. So I'm going to use this. Choosing to say, that which is positive about and to others lifts and strengthens those around us. And that is what I live for. So I know there's a lot of encouragers watching me right now. It's part of our DNA. We couldn't help being a cheerleader if we tried. So I think strengthen to me speaks of not just encouraging people, but like truly lifting them up, truly like making them feel like stronger, like they have better perspective of something, they have a bigger hope. Stuff like that, like it's invaluable. That's bigger than just saying, have a nice day. It's something about giving someone a tool they didn't have before to really help them see something different. And even if it's in a little craft video like I do, even if I'm sharing something like this idea to help you, like I'm truly, truly wanting to strengthen you. I want you to feel more empowered and encouraged every day when you go, because I remember, girls, I was there, I was right with you, going to, you know, a job I didn't like, or you know, having to struggle. And, you know, my struggles are different now, but I remember them then because I felt like this is never going to end. And so I'm very encouraged that something wonderful happened and I was able to change the direction of my life, because really this is what I was born to do. And not the crafty necessarily, but the encouraging part. So look how cute this is, and so meant to be. It was like they were made for each other. So now I have a cute little card with my word, and it has a quote. So this, even doing digital artwork, that in itself can be very creative. And I'm going to put a link below so that you can access some digital journal cards as well. There's a couple resources that I absolutely love. And I have to tell you, like, I am obsessed with making, with offering journal cards now, like digital journal cards, especially for projects like this. I have been doing oodles of research late at night looking into like all the different little types of journal cards that I want to make. So I am really excited about, embracing a digital printable world and getting to share stuff like this. So I super duper love this. So I went on Pinterest and I searched my word and I put strengthen quotes and let Pinterest do the work. So if your word is brave or fly or shine, or a lot of people are picking intentional this year. So I saw a lot of people pick reset, which is a fabulous word. You just need to enter that word and put quote is the more effective way to find what you're looking for, and just stand back in awe and watch all the little quotes pop up. It's amazing. I look to Pinterest as a beautiful word search engine all the time. So I went and got myself a bunch of little quotes and stuff that I could use to embellish my pages. You can use them as journal prompts. Sometimes a fabulous quote will make you start thinking about something differently. And it's very interesting because you're getting to see how other people think about that word and what it means to them and how they use it. So when I wait, you strengthen my heart, which is a psalm. So I will go and dig that one out. And so this would be something I would put in my little notebook. But I also have these little pieces here. So again, I would just grab another one of my little baby ephemera. I almost had it. Keepers, and get those in there. See what I'm saying? When you got some time on your hands, you can start like cutting this up. So this would be another thing I would stick in my little pink file folder to work on when I have time. So I'm going to put them in there with my stickers. And this is all my like word stuff that I work on. So doing finding fun quotes and using them to embellish your planner, to embellish your pages. Again, my caveat about finding things on the internet is not taking things that people are trying to sell and not selling other people's work yourself. Because that is someone's hard work or something that they probably weren't intending for someone else to take and sell. So I'm just sticking them in a little book. This is just a little bag. So now I have 3 of them so far. So you could imagine how much you could do if you had like, I think there's 10 bags you get and a little ring. And I could have a whole little collection that's all my word of different little elements that I come up with. So find quotes with your word is definitely one thing I would suggest you do, because then you'll have visuals and you'll have other people's take on it that you might not have thought of yourself. Find scripture. For some of you faith girls, sometimes your word could be found in scripture. In my case, I knew that it would be, but I found this on dailyverses.net. It's 31 Bible verses about strength. Hello. Sometimes your word, if you do some word research, you'll find that it's like it has a root word or it has another meaning, and maybe that word is something you could find in the Bible. So be a little bit more loose in your interpretation of your word in order to see if it's something you could find scripture for. But if that's meaningful to you, like this Isaiah 40:31 is probably one of the most profound scriptures in the Bible. It's one of my absolute favorite ones. And yes, the word strength is in there. The word strength is in the Bible a cajillion times. This is a little flavor of it, but you can see from here, a lot of it is in the Old Testament. I'm an Old Testament girl. I love the Old Testament. So that is a suggestion as well, as you could use the Bible as a resource. And like, how amazing is that to use God's word to really embrace your word even more. So that is another one. So number 5, and this is a terrible example, so I'm so sorry. My laser printer sometimes has a hard time with darker colors. But this is a picture from Allie Edwards' website. And it's part of her page for One Little Word, which I'm going to share with you the link in a second. And that's also in the resource, believe me, because it's an awesome class. Now, I signed up for it last year, and I got she sends you prompts once a month. I didn't do any of the exercises at all, and yet I still signed up for 2017, but I am going to do it. I know she is probably one of the most thoughtful people in memory keeping, and how she sets things up. She's just, I love her style and how she looks at things. So I am expecting to get a lot out of this. I'm excited about what's coming. But what I thought was really cute was on her website, she had a picture of herself holding up. She has these little acrylic words. They've been laser cut. And so you can go on the site and you can order words. And I'm pretty sure you could probably custom order your word. So she has a series of photos where she's holding her word and taking a picture with it. And I thought to myself, what a fabulous idea. Even if you just had a piece of paper with your word on it, you should take pictures of yourself holding up your word. And maybe it's just a once a month thing, but you take a picture of yourself and you put it in your little journal that you've made for yourself, big, like a 8x10, and journal to yourself. How did you embrace that word? Like, it's funny is we take pictures with our kids and our husbands and our boyfriends and stuff, but wouldn't that be funny of like, me and my word, we're at the park. So I am going to do that. I'm going to take pictures. Me and my word strengthen are going to go out and about, and I'm going to do that. I actually put an order in. I didn't do the plastic acrylic through her site. I found a pin, of course, on Pinterest about someone who was doing not One Little Word. She just called it having a word for the year. One Little Word is Allie Edwards' branded program, but everyone else sort of just says your word for the year, just FYI. But she had mentioned that she ordered her word through a metal artist. So this person laser cuts like metal. So that's what I ordered mine through, and I will make sure that link gets included. I just thought it was and it was done a little differently than this, and I just thought, well, that would be really cool to hang up like art on the wall. But I wanted something really sturdy and that I could go and take photos with. So, but I'm also going to do the paper thing. I think I'm going to print my word out and just hold a piece of paper or my notebook. But anyway, so that would be another suggestion of being friends with your word this year is take pictures with it. I think it's a fun photo prompt. You can do something silly with it, but like show how you're interacting with your word too and how it like has meaning. It shouldn't be something you just went, oh yeah, back in January I picked a word and I think about it every now and then. Like this is something you're really trying to incorporate, and that word should have like meaning to you. So that's a fun way of doing it, is kind of treating it like it's a friend, and you take pictures with friends. So I thought this little thing on Allie's website is just so adorable, and I would recommend, even if you choose not to sign up for her thing, I would recommend you go look at her site and go read what she wrote about the one little word that she came up with. I think she said she came up with it about 6 years ago. So, but it's a lovely story, and you can see all the little pictures of her holding up her word. So number 6 is make artwork with your word. So I asked my darling husband to make a vinyl version of my word, and he asked me what font. I gave him my favorite one that I use for everything right now. So this one is just black vinyl, and if you have a silhouette, this would be a really super simple thing for you to do, is either do an entire quote with your word and put it on the wall somewhere, or just do one word with it and put this on your mirror. I mean, you could put it on, attach it to your mirror and just like, you know, scrape it off at the end of the year. But you could put this on your mirror if you wanted, or on your car. I mean, you really could. These are really big. I'm going to ask him to make me a smaller version, and you could put it on your planner. I know. Put it on on a notebook. You could put it on a piece of, you could put it on a lot of things. You could put it on a piece of glass, on a window, and hang it. You know, like you have those vintage windows, but you can make artwork with your word. You could use this, and you know, it doesn't have to be vinyl, but you could use it to put into a big mixed media piece. Last Late Night Crafty Club, we did vision boards, and it could be the centerpiece of your vision board, big, bold, and then you make collage around it. So that is one idea, is just making a big vinyl piece with your word and putting it somewhere where you can't miss it. Another idea you can do with your word is what I did. So the first year that I did this, I mentioned to you, my word was focus. And there are two ladies who collaborate and create these little stamps. Now, I did not double check that they still do it before I made this video, but they did it last year too, and so I'm thinking they still might do it. So it's Kelly Winnell is who makes the stamp, Kelly Stamps. And Jody York is the one who's beautiful, like scripty writing. She is really distinct writing. She is the artist. So she also can be commissioned. Jody York can be commissioned directly. You can go to her and say, hey, could you make my word? She does like a print of your word, so you could make it like it's printed on nice stock and you could frame it. In my case, I asked her to do my word intentional, and she made it for me, and then it was like a JPEG, so I was able to just print it out on a piece of paper, and that's what I did. So so for 2 years in a row, I had the stamp one year, and then I had Jody make me just the word in her fabulous writing. I have not gotten to do that yet so far for my word this year, but this is an option. You could go, and there might be other people who do this too. I would check. Etsy is a really good place to start. I don't think Kelly's not on Etsy. She has her own website. I'd start here first, and then look at Jody York as well. Again, those links will be available to you. And then I happen to get this one, and I can't say for sure. I want to say I found this on Etsy, and it was not a word of the year for me, but I know this is a word of the year for a lot of people. So I found this on Etsy at one time and grabbed it. So I'm sure if you just typed in something along the lines of word of the year, custom word stamp, custom, I think if you use the word, that would probably be a great way to start, is like a word stamp, custom word stamp. So here was two options. And if your word is reset, you are in luck because this month in our deluxe kits, we have a custom stamp that has the word reset in it. So it's a little clear acrylic stamp. So along with some other words as well. But that's part of our deluxe reset kit. So I have a whole kit about reset. That is the name of it because it's the beginning of the year. It features my TRG and Simple Stories collaboration die cuts. It's quite glorious, but it is on my website. I'm trying to play TheResetGirlShop.com. I was just thinking, like, what do I have stuff from there? So like there's like little stickers with the word reset, and then I have these are from the Crafty Girl collection. The Crafty Girl play kit had a reset sticker in it as well. So I was really embracing the reset for January, right? Because it's like a fresh new year and all of that good stuff. So this was one fun thing to do. Another fun thing you could do is buy yourself some Scrabble tiles and set yourself up with a word. I was showing this in a previous video, and I was like, that would be an awesome idea for your word of the year. This is a Scrabble tile, like the little holder. And this person, I bought this from a little vintage store, and they just took the Scrabble tiles and they hot glued them in there and added a little embellished one here. You can buy Scrabble tiles on Etsy or eBay. I got mine on eBay, and whoever just had a really good collection of them. I think they're super fun to use in photography. But so this is a great way of incorporating your word, because if you're sitting at your desk at work, you could just have it sitting right there staring you in the face all day long. So this is another fun thing, to me this is like making art and doing something fun with it. And you could do it, multiple times, because a lot of those sets of Scrabble tiles have enough to make multiple words. So another fun thing you can do with your word is, and this is number 7, is jewelry. Wear your word. So my first year of doing this, and my word was focus, I got myself a cuff, one of those little leather cuffs, and this was it's like a belt cuff, and it was cut down and made into a little wrist cuff. And this particular seller offered that you could, pick whatever you wanted, whatever word you wanted to have on this little embellishment. So my word was focus, and that was what I used. Again, I can't say that the word was successful for me, but I had a fun little bracelet to wear, because I have mentioned before how I love meaningful jewelry. And so I always kind of tell myself that it's going to really stand out. I'm going to carry it with me if I have it. And so I wore focus with me. I don't happen to know the name of the seller off the top of my head, but I will try to find her and put her link also in my little resource I'm offering you. This bracelet, which was custom made for me, is from Quirky Nook, and I love this thing so much. It is so fun, and it makes the most delicious little sound when the little beads all kind of knock together. I love it. It's so fun and quirky, exactly like her name. So I saw her post these on Facebook, and I was, oh my gosh, I need one of those yesterday. So I've been wearing these in my video lately because I love the little jingle it makes. So anyway, sorry that we're diverting off there. Okay, so anyhow, the other style of jewelry that I also did was I did intentional for last year. So this was a simpler, kind of thinner little metal band. These type of bracelets, they're pretty prolific on Etsy. They're pretty easy to find. So if you looked up a custom bangle, you could find someone who does this. This one was probably $22. I want to say it was $22 plus shipping. And this one, I want to say, was like $15. So there's different types of jewelry out there that you could get your one word on, and you could, you could even have like a charm attached to a piece of jewelry you wear now, and just have your word attached to it, which is an excellent idea, and I should probably do that for myself. So jewelry is a fabulous way of incorporating your word into your life. So joining a community is another, number 8. And I have, I have 3 options for you that I discovered that are all about this word concept. So Allie Edwards and her one little word. And again, all of these will be in the printable resource that I provide and in the links below, but I just wanted to show you. One Word 365. So they're interesting. I had not heard of them until I started researching this year. They developed their one word community in 2009, and they are really cool. If you go on there, what's really unique is they are all about the community aspect of this. And they have this search function that you type in your word, and you can find other people that picked that word for the year. And then you guys can be share resources and ideas, and how did, what were your wins? What were your losses? Those kinds of things. I didn't do it, I didn't type in my word or anything, because I was mostly just doing research for this video. But I thought that was so neat. It's a very nice, very user-friendly website. They also had a little window that you could click on, and it would show you a bunch of options for Word if you hadn't chosen one. But the fact that they make that like you able to like gel up with people who picked your word, I think is so cool. So that is One Word 365. And then myoneword.org. This is more Christian based, but not like, it didn't look like it was like in your face Christian, but it does come at it from a Christian perspective. So I think in this case, there probably might be a little bit more influence of the Bible in doing, picking a word, or, but I saw a lot of very, more general articles, I would say. So that is another option too. All three of these websites have a resource for this project, which I think is so awesome. So I had no idea these other two. I think I think these two were recent. There was another one that I used to remember. I used to jump on it when I was the first year I did it. Now I don't remember, and I couldn't figure it out. No matter how much I looked, I couldn't find it. So maybe I'm just like remembering it wrong. So joining a community. Number 9, reading a book. How about this? So if you have the name of, like, you have your word, right? So pop that word into Amazon. Do a search on Amazon or on Google and put, your word plus book, and see what comes up. So I just kind of popped into my office and opened up my bookshelf and just kind of looked in there, and I have the Strengths Finder, and that's my word. So so the Strengths Finder is a really awesome book. It's part of like a program where it kind of helps you discover what your strengths are. So it has a website. If you buy the book, you get like this super secret code, and you like bust it out of the back here, and it gives you like a access to the website, and then you can take the test online. But it's a very, well, you can see right here, it's #1 best times selling author wrote this. So it's been around for a while, but it is a great resource, perfect if you're kind of looking to kind of develop yourself a little more. So the Strengths Finder would definitely be something that I would use as a book to read for my word. So maybe your word has support out there. Maybe there are books out there about your word or that have to do with your word. I'll give you an example. Another one, these popped out. So creative. People, I've seen quite a few people who have the word create as their word of the year. So I would do a little search and find out what comes up. What books have been written about being creative, being a creator. I just happen to have these two, The Creative Entrepreneur and Creative Awakenings. So I would say that could be an amazing place to start, is to think about your word as the beginning of like a little library. You have a whole year. This word and you are going to be out hanging out for a while. So that could be an opportunity for you to go down a whole little avenue to really kind of like learn more about this thing. Because sometimes we pick words because it's not who we are, and it's something we want to be. Or it's something maybe we have like a little seed in us, but we want to develop it because it's not something that we do enough of. So sometimes when you read resources from people who have that gift, who are that way, who have gone before you, that can be so empowering to read something, because now you feel like you're not in the dark anymore. Now you're like, okay, I can see the light. Now someone is giving me little breadcrumbs, to get from where you are to where you want to go. And that's really important, because I think when you really think about it, we have this amount of time on earth, and sometimes there's little things inside of us that we just don't know are there until we're kind of like forced into an uncomfortable position, or we're given an opportunity, and you could be your own worst enemy in that moment. You really can, because you let fear take you over. I look at the last couple years, and I see times where I said yes to things that I can't believe I said yes to, because it involves like something so terrifying. a case in point, like saying yes to being a speaker at the National Planner Con. What the heck was I thinking? I have to actually stand up in front of people and talk, like a lot of people. But there's this part of me that tells myself, but see, that opportunity popped up for a reason. And you don't know what you're truly capable of until you actually do things, even if they're scary. And when you think about it, that's so much in life. Like you just kind of mosey along sometimes and you might have your own plans, but sometimes life will surprise you and give you opportunities you didn't know that you would do, or that you'd say yes to, or that you felt that way. And so that's, I think, the opportunity for your life to feel like an adventure when you say yes to things that are scary, that you don't quite know. But, sometimes I feel like the opportunity wouldn't present itself at all if there wasn't some part of it that's meant to be. And sometimes the opportunity isn't right for you. Maybe it doesn't align with like your values, your brand, your business, who you are. That's well and good, but I'm talking about the opportunities that pop up that scare you. It's not that they're bad for you, it's that they scare you. Fear is that way of making itself kind of like rain on the parade. It takes away the joy of the doing something new and exciting. And I have to tell you from experience, because I've been a little fraidy cat the majority of my life, and I'm not even exaggerating. I have been a wallflower, stick to the side of the wall, be a observer of life my entire adult life until the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years maybe. Deciding to go back to college was one of those things. Like, I had no idea that I could do that well at school. I was really an average student when I went through high school, and then when I went to college the first time and I got a degree in sign language, I felt mediocre. I did not feel like I was good at it. My grades were okay, but man, this last time I went to school and rocked it out, like I get to carry that around the rest of my life, that I'm capable of that level. And that's what I mean about scary opportunities, is sometimes when you achieve them, man, it's like you get to wear this badge of honor for yourself the rest of your life. And if you had said no, you would have cheated yourself out of that opportunity. Think how many of us, I see these stories so often, is so many of us are like little couch potatoes, and then we get this idea in our head that we're just like, I'm sick of being fat and I'm sick of being, lazy. I'm going to get out there. And you see some of these women go from the couch to like their first marathon, and they're like transformed because they finally like did something. They got up and did something about it, and they become a different person. And that different person gives you a different perspective. You see things differently. And that's what I'm saying. Like, all these things I'm talking about are such little things, but sometimes they add up. And sometimes they make a difference in a way that you just can't even comprehend right now. This word you picked, or this word that picked you, you may not realize how this word could truly impact you yet. And I know that sounds a little like it's just a word, Corey, but for real, sometimes it's a little bit more than that, because when you do these little actions, it changes you. It opens your eyes a little more, makes you a little more confident. Depending on what your word is, maybe you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And every time you do that, you become a little bit more who you were really meant to be. You just hold yourself back so much of the time that you don't ever really get a chance. And there's a lot of, extroverts are watching me too, and I get it. Extroverts kind of operate a little differently. You guys, in my opinion, you guys are a little more braver, because you flow outwards. You are always like, you talk out loud, your thoughts. You're not all in here inside your head. You want to be out living life. You tend to be very exuberant. And and you're fun people. Everyone loves extroverts. They're the life of the party. The little introverts are clutching the wall and don't talk to me. But the extroverts, you guys are the role models. You're the ones that, like, when I go to watch people speak, or because I love going to events, I love going to workshops, I always am looking to improve myself. And when I watch extroverts come in the room and take the stage, and they're usually the ones doing the speaking, I admire it so much. I don't, beat myself up because I'm not like that, but I admire it. And maybe there's a little bit of that I can emulate, because now I accepted something that means I have to get up and do that, what that thing is that they're doing. So all these little things I'm talking about, they add up. Believe it or not, all of it adds up, and all of it, if you allow it, if you don't treat it like it's just this little fun thing that I did, if you really treat it like it gives, you give it honor, I guess is the way of saying it, and it could have a prolific change. And I'm sure, like, once I start diving into Allie Edwards' classes and stuff, I'm sure she will talk about it, because this is something she's been doing for 6 straight years, and she wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't have meaning to her. And I would be, I mean, I'd love to have lunch with her and be like, so Allie, please tell me how these specific words have really impacted your life, because this just makes me want to, you know, keep doing this and go on and on with picking other words and picking grander words, picking words that might feel uncomfortable, like that sounds exciting. And so I'm leading up to number 10, which is to live your word. You know, it's great to do all these little activities that help us kind of like get our little feet in the water, get to know our word. And it's like you're dating, you know, you're kind of dating, feeling each other out. But I'm expecting by September we should be kind of like, we're going steady. Like, you know, this is the real deal. Like, you guys are like, you've worked out the kinks. And you and your word are like, you're making it happen. So the other part of all of this is not just doing the little activities, but it's like actually acting on your word. So when I go out my door and I actually go out there into the world, you know, my mentality should be, look for an opportunity to strengthen someone today. Yeah, that might mean I have to go up and talk to someone. That might mean I have to do something uncomfortable. But isn't that what strengthening your brethren is? Aren't there people out there who need it more than you do, Corey? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's not just the opportunity to write a little Instagram post or go pop into a Facebook group and be like, hey, hope everyone's having a great day. It is profound, life-changing stuff. Sometimes it's about stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something to help somebody in a way that they may not forget. There's been a couple times in my life where someone did something so specific to help me that I've never forgotten it. What it felt like, wow, that person like gave up their time and their resource. They went so far out of their way to help me. Like, why did I deserve that, you know? And it's made me think about that, and think about that kindness, and think about what it felt like to have someone just like, I see you, you know? And if I had that gift to give to others, my husband and I would drive around the country in my RV doing that all day long. If that's what, you know, if that's the opportunity I'm given, that's what I would want to do. That's what I would truly want to do. So choosing to do that every day, small ways and big ways, uncomfortable ways, even whatever your word is. If your word is focus, that means that is an action that you put down in your planner. Today, I'm going to focus on one thing. That might mean today I put my phone in the drawer. That was one of my biggest problems. And I'll show you something that I wrote down for myself, because focus was so hard for me. I actually made this little card. So this is one of our squirrel stickers, because I found that funny ever since I saw the movie Up, and Doug the dog is constantly distracted by the squirrels, which most dogs are. I thought this was hilarious. I made these little goals. They look like little vintage flashcards, but I put a little note to myself: turn off email and hide phone in the drawer. Because these are my two biggest distractions: hearing the email notification going off on my laptop, and my phone lighting up every time something happens. So if I silence my laptop and put my phone in the drawer so I can't even see it, and I just shut it off for several hours of the day, it is not a distraction, and I can focus. So think about your word. Is your word brave? Did you pick brave? Do something that makes you brave. Do something that's scary, because that's kind of like how you combat fear, is being brave, right? So by its very nature, like, you got to do something scary. And maybe more than once a week you do it. Maybe you sign up, so most of us are afraid of public speaking. Maybe this is the year you join Toastmasters. Or, what has been holding you back in your life? Is it that you think, do you love the idea of like writing a book, but you think you're a mediocre writer? Join a class for creative writing. Go to a class for creative writing. Don't do like the online thing. Go in front of people, be in front of people, have your story read. I took creative writing in college, like I think 3 or 4 different times. And it's awful when they read your story out loud. You're just cringing inside. But it makes you braver. It gives you confidence. You're trying to build a skill set. And so maybe it's joining a dance class, doing something completely like you wouldn't imagine yourself doing. Don't let it just be this word that you pick and you wear it on a bracelet. Like, let it be a word that you enter into a relationship with and you actually entertain it. You entertain the opportunities it brings and the challenges that it brings. And I think if we were to look at all of our words, there's challenge in some of them. And I think if you're really honest with yourself, maybe there's a reason why that word speaks to you, because it's trying to say this is an area you got to work on, girl. So this year, I would like to kind of keep this going with, we have our vision boards built, which is awesome. They are, I've been seeing quite a few ladies posting their vision boards in the Late Night Crafty Club. And that's been super awesome. I've just been like a proud mama looking at all of the little vision boards, and some of them are just, you can tell you guys put a lot of your heart into it, and I just think that's awesome. So keep them coming. I mean, this isn't based on a video I made and that's it. Like, if you are kind of like your little stuff is all cut out and it hasn't been glued down, please don't cheat yourself out of this. Because having that vision board to look at is, partner it with your word. If you didn't incorporate your word into your vision board, here's a great opportunity. Or make another board. You can make a whole other board and front and center, make it all about your word. If it's brave, put pictures of things that scare you. If it's shine, put pictures of things that make you feel like excited, like I want to do that. Shine has a lot to do with your pushing out, like it's like extroverting. It's shining your gifts, sharing your gifts, talents that you have, things like that. Volunteer to share your talents out in the world. People need that. They need a light, because we live in a very dark world. So if shine is your word this year, girl, be the light. Be the light that somebody needs, because there's a lot of broken and very lonely people in the world. And I know, like, social media connects us and we can gather together for this group, and that's awesome. I love that. But then when we, turn off the video, I want all of us to feel a bit of responsibility of taking over, like, what we talk about and learn in this group and get inspired by and encouraged by. And I want us to, like, go out and kind of and push that forward, share that forward. And whatever your word is, living it out in action is the best way that it's going to become part of you. And, I might have picked a new word, but me and intentional are still best friends. I still have a place in my heart. I love everything about that word. I fell in love with it. I really embraced it. And I feel like, even though I see lots of flaws in my life, I still see lots of areas where I still need to work on it. It's like a relationship that, like, I can't divorce it. I may have moved on to a new word, but I'm intentional still right here by my side, still working with me, working for me. And I know it sounds silly, and maybe that's just this weird perspective of things that I've always had since I was a kid. I think there's a name for it, and I can't remember the name. It's when you, like, assign, like, a personality to a thing. I have named every car I've ever owned. I like naming things. Things are boys or girls. It's really weird, and I know that's kind of how I am talking about this word, like it's a person. But for me and my imagination, it helps me to look at it that way. It's like how I look at, past Corey and future Corey. To me, these have been, like, really helpful little mind tricks. They're just like a little tweak of how you look at something. Sometimes you need that. You need to have someone else's perspective on things to kind of help you go, there's a different way of looking at that. And it might sound a little silly, but I know some of you are like, yeah. So I know that there wasn't a ton of crafting in this particular episode, but I really wanted to focus on giving you lots of ideas for how you could kind of make this word special to you and kind of give you like a pumped up message about it. Sometimes I feel like my heart is really not necessarily to sit here making something, but really just to talk to you. We're all in our jammies together, most of us. You know, we're all girlfriends from all over the world and kind of hanging out right now in this moment. And I know some of you are going to see me several, you know, days and weeks later. And I wanted to take this time to just tell you, I wish I could answer every single comment and message. It's so painful that I can't. And I've been really working hard trying to swing back and do that more often. But I just have to tell you, it just makes it's not even like makes my day. It just makes my life when you guys leave me the comments you leave me and tell me that what I'm saying is helpful to you. Someone gave me some really good advice one time, and I've not forgotten it. It's, you know, talk to people the way you wish someone had talked to you when you were there. And I used to sit in the back of the room on the sidelines of life all the time, and I used to look at the people in the front of the room and I think, how did they get there? How did they get to a place where they look so happy, where they're walking in their gift? I haven't desired money and fame. I just want to walk in my gift, my calling. I just want to feel like when I was here on this earth, I did what God put me on this earth to do. And when I read some of the comments about things I say or share on my channel, it's my paycheck. It's the reason why I did this brave thing by being live on camera and sharing with you, because I genuinely care about you. I care about you and your life, because I know what it feels like to be so alone, to be so in the dark, to feel like you just don't want to get through another day. I've been at that end of the spectrum. And, you know, even where I am now is not perfect by any means, but it is about like your mindset of where you can be content in life. And I feel like that's the place where I am just content in life. Not that I've achieved that, but that I've developed a mindset where the success or any of that is not about like the tangible things. It's not about the car. Obviously, a lot of us understand that it's not about your car, how much money you make, or any of those things. It has to do with your appreciation for your life and where you're at. And if there are things you don't like about it, you have the opportunity to change them, which is why, you know, this is the year I'm going to talk more about, you know, being able to reset your life at any time. That is my mission, my heart. And yes, I use beautiful, delicious planners, you know, to create tools to help me do that. But at the end of the day, I really want to share the things that have worked for me so that I can help you. And maybe my solutions won't work for you, but I know that like I spent a lot of time, a lot of money buying stuff and chasing after all these what everyone else was doing for a long time, and now I feel like I finally have some contentment. I finally have a plan. And to answer, I've gotten a lot of questions about, well, where's your planner? How come you haven't shown your January setup? I have been intentional and taken a lot of time with like slowly setting it all up and getting it ready and thinking through things like what were my pain points last year? What did not work for me? So I'm really setting myself up for true success, because I kind of want to feel like I do a lot of stuff in a routine or on autopilot. And then that will give me some freedom to do the more fun things, which I didn't get to do enough fun things last year. And I haven't started my listing, but I will. And I am going to be doing work in my little strengthen book here. And I hope that you're going to go ahead and even if you don't make a whole book, you can just make a section in your planner for your word. That would be a great idea too. If you have a coil bound planner or something that's very static and doesn't give you room for stuff like that, then yes, you know, having a separate notebook would be something I highly encourage. But you can always add a section to a ring bound planner. If you have a traveler's notebook, you can make a whole insert dedicated to your word. And again, I highly recommend doing this, because I just kind of flirted with some of these ideas last year. There were some things I did, but this year, just as much as much success as I had with intentional, I really want strengthened to like be the thing that catapults me, you know, into that place where I've not been before because I've held myself back. And strengthen is my word because that's my calling, is to strengthen and help other people, to encourage, uplift, inspire. That's what I'm constantly thinking of, you know, doing. And it's more than just, you know, sticking stickers on a paper to me. It's truly trying to be impactful in your life. And whether that's, you know, in your creativity, because perfectionism is a horrible little monster that robs us. So if it's helping you there, if it's helping you with areas of your life where you're like, I want to do things differently, sometimes you just need someone that kind of helps, like, let's just break down how you kind of create a reset path. So those are the objectives I have this year. And I wanted to do this video really badly because I know how much excitement there has been in my Facebook groups about picking a word, and I really wanted it to be impactful, and I wanted to kick off my own word by doing something I felt that would truly help you. So please know that although I don't always get a chance to respond to every comment, I can't tell you how much it encourages me, and I screenshot so many things people say to me. And that they would definitely go into a book like this because it reminds me on a hard day, like, this is what you're doing it for. It's not about numbers. It's about, these are the people you're helping or encouraging or strengthening. So that is my message to you girls. I love you to bits. I really, truly do. And I know right now you're like a little camera up there on the wall. But I know tomorrow night we're going to be having fun in the chat room, and I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate you, and I thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to speak into your life, and I hope that you walk away from this video strengthened. So I would love to know how you incorporate some of these ideas. As always, I love for you to join the Happy Place Club on Facebook. I will link that below. Every time I do one of these videos, I notice that I get a lot of requests to join, which makes my heart sing, because it is a group that I try really hard to focus on just like happy things. And it's not planner specific. If you just want to share like your win that you had, or something great that happened to you, or if you want to share like, look, I got everything all beautiful on my desk. It's been a mess. You know, I want everyone to feel like they're free to share the happy moments in their life, and it doesn't have to be about a planner, although it can be, because planners bring a lot of joy, I know it. But anyway, that's what the Happy Place Club is for, and so I welcome you to join, because it is an opportunity to, you know, that's where everyone loves to share their vision boards that they made. Please keep those coming, and use the hashtag TRG Late Night Crafty Club if you want to post on Instagram. That way I can check in and see what you're up to there. So thank you very much for watching. You guys are awesome. I can't say enough about you. I feel like I just have this big giant group of friends, and I thank you so much for being a part of my life and allowing me to be part of yours. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Bye, everybody.